He stopped right in front of us. He's literally here. Bro.
Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Tonight, we're diving into the 6 most disturbing camping encounters ever recorded. These clips will make you think twice about ever stepping into the woods alone again. Let's delve straight into this first disturbing encounter. This next clip comes from the YouTube channel Appy Mountain Trekkers, where Jason shares all of his outdoor adventures, from hiking and exploring to camping, bushcraft, and survival tips. His goal? To inspire fellow nature lovers to get outside and create their own adventures in the great outdoors. Jason's videos are usually fun, relaxing, and informative, but he also keeps it real by sharing the tougher moments that can come with life in the wild, and this particular adventure turned out to be one of those times. It's April 2nd, 2019. Jason arrives at the forest, buzzing with excitement for his very first camp of the year. Without wasting a second, he grabs his gear and starts the hike to his remote getaway spot, a small base camp he began setting up the previous autumn when the weather was still on his side. And as soon as he reaches the familiar clearing, Jason dives straight into continuing where he left off last year.
Figured I'd take a break. Got about 3 hours of daylight left. I know it don't look like a lot, but I've been working my butt off. I haven't filmed a lot of it.
Now that everything is set up for a comfortable night ahead, Jason is fully in his element, surrounded by nothing but trees, fresh air, and the sounds of the forest. He spends some peaceful time carving a wooden spoon, fully soaking in the calm of nature. As the sun begins to dip behind the trees, Jason prepares himself a well-earned dinner, feeling proud and content with the progress he's made at his camp. It's shaping up to be a perfect evening, and it seems like nothing could possibly ruin it. But little does he know, this adventure is about to take a turn he didn't see coming.
Well, I made some good progress on my spoon, but I think I'm done with it for the night. Yeah, that little that spoon knife is pretty daggone sharp. She bit me. I shouldn't have been carving in the low light conditions, but I was wanting to get it done before morning. That's what I get. But yeah, I'm done with that for the night. Well, boys and girls, getting ready to hit the hay. It's a little after 9, and I'm whipped. I think I'm gonna sleep good tonight. It's supposed to be relatively warm in the 50s, and it feels like it. Alright guys, we'll give you a quick update. It's about 10 after 10. I laid down about 9 o'clock, and I was trying to go to sleep. It took me a while, and I was almost asleep, and sometime before 10, I was woke up by something I've never heard in my life. And I know this might sound sensational or something that, you know, I'm not bullshitting. I heard like 4 quick, very loud, deep guttural calls. behind me, behind camp. There's like a dip on the other side, and it goes up to a higher ridge on this backside, and it sounded like it come from over there. But it was like 4 calls, almost like a communication call of some kind. They were back to back, and then there was a pause, and then I heard 2 more. It scared the absolute shit out of me. I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig, some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life. Needless to say, I'm pretty wigged out being up here by myself. I got up and got this first thing. I don't know what the hell that was, but it was big. It sounded big.
As Jason already mentioned, the strange sound had totally unsettled him. Despite all his years of outdoor experience, he had never heard anything quite like it. And it left him wondering what kind of creature could be lurking just beyond the shadows of his campsite. He sat in silence, cautiously listening to his surroundings, but nothing followed. The forest had gone completely still again. After a few minutes of weighing his options, Jason eventually decided that the best thing to do was try to get some rest. He kept a weapon close by, just in case, and that thought gave him at least a little comfort, and eventually Jason managed to fall asleep. But around 1 o'clock in the morning, something concerning pulled him right back into wakefulness.
About 1 o'clock, I woke up again. I heard something circling my camp. Whatever it is, it's close. Hear that?
With that unsettling growling sound earlier in the evening, the clear footsteps around his camp that woke him up, and now these rustling noises, his uneasy feeling only grew stronger. But alongside the fear, Jason's curiosity started to take over. He really wanted to know what, or who, was out there in the woods with him. So deciding to stay close to camp and not take any unnecessary risks, Jason grabbed his flashlight and cautiously walked a small loop around his site, hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever had been making those noises.
Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter. I heard that. Yeah. I think I'm going back.
As Jason narrated in his video, He eventually brushed it all off as deer wandering through the forest, common in these parts, and usually nothing to worry about. Still, that low growl from earlier in the evening stuck with him, mostly because he couldn't quite explain what kind of animal would make a sound like that. But what Jason didn't realize at the time is that if you look closely at his footage, you can spot multiple glowing eyes reflecting in the darkness. And the most unsettling part is that these eyes seem to be at an unnatural height, too tall for deer. From what kind of creature those eyes could have been remains a mystery, especially considering the height. No known animal native to this part of America stands that tall. But at the time, Jason didn't know what he had captured and brushed the whole experience off as a few deer wandering through the forest, despite the eerie growl from earlier that night still lingering in his thoughts. He managed to fall asleep again and, luckily, didn't wake up until the morning sun lit up the forest floor. It wasn't until Jason posted his video online and the comments started rolling in that he realized something strange had been captured. Several viewers pointed out what seemed to be multiple glowing eyes in the distance, reflecting back at the camera. But what stood out the most was their height, far too high to belong to any deer. Looking back, Jason couldn't help but wonder what was really out there that night. But the most important part was, he made it through the night unharmed, and thankfully, never had to use his gun. Already feeling uneasy? Prepare yourself, because this is just the beginning. Let's dive straight into the next chilling camping encounter, where it's not the unexplainable that turns the trip into a nightmare, but other people. Meet Mox, known from his YouTube channel Moxley's Paranormal World. With a fearless curiosity for the unknown, Mox has made a name for himself by exploring the most haunted and unsettling locations across the UK. From abandoned hospitals, echoing with eerie silence, to shadowy forests whispered about in local folklore, there's little that scares him off. His mission is to document what lies beyond the veil and share it with his growing audience of thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. In this video, Mox embarks on a solo wild camping trip just outside the village of Rivington in England, an area steeped in ghost stories and strange sightings. Locals speak of paranormal activity, chilling whispers among the trees, and even a headless horseman is said to haunt these woods for generations. But while Mox was hoping to make contact with something supernatural, what actually happened that night was far from anything he expected. It's March 28, 2025, and Mox has just arrived at the forest where he plans to spend the night. With daylight fading, he heads off into the woods to find the perfect place to pitch his tent, unaware that something entirely different would make this night one to remember.
Hammer cup. You couldn't ask for a better place to pitch up for the night, especially out here doing a bit of paranormal ghost hunting as well. So hopefully it is an interesting night. One last look. Look at that. Good thing is, there is people over there camping. And if I camp here, on this bit of a beach, then at least I'll be able to keep an eye on them.
With his hammock set up and the last light of day reflecting off the calm lake in front of him, Mox takes a deep breath and soaks in the beauty around him. The peacefulness of the setting sun and the stillness of the forest bring a rare moment of calm, even for someone used to exploring the unknown. For a moment, he almost forgets why he came here in the first place, to investigate the spirits said to linger in these woods. But that moment doesn't last long. Suddenly, strange sounds echo from deeper within the forest, sharp, unnatural cracks followed by what sounds like distant, hushed whispers. Instantly, the serene atmosphere shifts. That heavy, familiar tension begins to creep in, and the peaceful feeling Mox had just seconds ago is completely washed away.
Right, so I've been sat here a good 45 minutes now. I keep hearing movement in the woods behind me. The woods behind the camera, shall I say, in front of me. And again then. So I don't know if they're making their way over this side because they might have seen my light. Or It could be other people coming down here. Right, I'm going to turn the light out. Hear that? Click, click, click. I know the seagulls are going. What the hell is that? It's almost like somebody was moving over there. Like somebody was walking through this, coming down here.
With all the seagulls echoing across the lake, it's hard to distinguish between natural sounds and something more unsettling. But Mox is convinced. He knows he heard footsteps, as if someone was slowly walking toward him from the shadows of the forest. Still, with no clear sign of anyone or anything nearby, he tries to shake it off. Maybe it was just an animal, or his imagination playing tricks on him. Trying to regain the peaceful vibe, Mox cooks himself a simple dinner and settles back, letting the last bit of daylight fade. He reminds himself that the real investigation starts after dark. But just as he begins to feel at ease again, something cuts through the calm.
Right, so I'm literally just here in the hammock, and all of a sudden all I heard is bang, 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 like 3 gunshots. It's literally what it sounded like, 3 gunshots. So I looked over to where those other lads are camping. You can see the torches moving through the trees. And every now and then, just lay there, I can hear, granted it could be animals, but it's not constant. It's like going through the trees. And then when I sit up and look, nothing. But then there was those 3 gunshots, which has put me on edge a little bit. So I'm going to pack the hammock up and I'm going to bugger off somewhere else, completely out the way from where these are. They've gone very quiet as well, which is a little bit concerning. But I think, yeah, get off this beach, get out, away from the open, and try and get further into the woods.
But as Mox is packing up his hammock and the rest of his belongings to move to a spot where he feels a bit more at ease, away from the direction where the unsettling gunshots came from, he suddenly gets interrupted.
Who's there? Somebody's just flung. I seen it as well. I think, yeah, it was this one. Somebody's just lobbed that from over there. Hey! Who's there? I'm just trying to camp just like you lads. Flash over there. Yeah. See the flashing? Flashing over there. Yeah, they're coming this way. Let's see if I turn that out. Yeah. Might be able to see it now. There's flashing coming through the woods. Seems to be quite a few of them as well. Right. Okay. Maybe I'm not welcome here. I just need to get this last bit down and then I'm getting my ass out of this part. Trying to record as much of this as I can, because I don't know what their intentions are. It might not even be the same lads, to be fair. Right, let's get this in the bag. I was just trying to relax for a bit until it goes absolutely pitch black. Maybe whoever's over there camps over there a lot and they just don't want me here. Well, they could just say, "What are you doing?" rather than flinging stuff at me. A bit pointless. But I know there's a few of them. There's only me, so you got to pick your battles, haven't you? You got to pick your battles. So the best bet is just to disappear, go somewhere else.
Although Mox wasn't sure about what these people's intentions exactly were, the fact that someone threw a stick toward him was enough to send a clear message. He wasn't welcome here. The peaceful atmosphere that had drawn Mox to this spot had completely vanished, replaced by a chilling sense of unease. Choosing to be better safe than sorry, Mox quickly gathered the rest of his gear and left the area, hoping to find a quieter, safer place to spend the night. But just as he was making his way down the narrow forest path, it became clear. Whoever was messing with him wasn't quite ready to let him go.
Right, can still see torch lights in the distance. Let's just keep moving up this way. Let's just hope nobody's up this side. I do think there's a torchlight out there. I'm so sorry about the wind. It is mega windy up here. Should we go down? Alright, let's go down here. Can't see anything. I literally just got that gap. As I got out, I swear it's gunshots. I heard it again, but this time it was closer. So I don't know if whoever is camping over there might have took a disliking to me and they're trying to find me. And the last thing I want to be doing is getting caught, because I've got thousands of pounds worth of equipment on me as well. I really don't feel safe.
Mox came for an investigation of the paranormal, hoping to uncover something chilling amidst the beauty of nature. But now, the only thing that haunted his mind were the people lurking somewhere nearby. People who might be armed, and whose intentions were anything but clear. What started as an exciting solo adventure had taken a dark turn, and the risk of getting robbed, or worse, was suddenly far more creepy than any ghost story. Disappointed and tense, Mox knew he had to make a move. Instead of walking the main trail back to his car, one that would bring him far too close to where those strangers had been, he chose a longer, more difficult route through the dense forest. A detour that might keep him out of sight. But the tension wasn't over yet.
And here's me walking through these woods where there's a sighting of a demonic headless horseman, and I've got some absolute strangers who I feel like are following me, because every now and then I can hear talking, and it's not like distance talking, it's like quite close to me as well. Is anybody there? I can literally see the lights. That is a high-powered torch as well. Right, so I turn everything off and I just lay low. It's about 4, maybe 5.
Mox eventually made it back to his car safely, and as soon as he closed the door behind him and turned the key, a wave of relief washed over him. The tension that had built up over the night slowly began to fade now that he was finally out of the woods. Mox was disappointed, of course. He was excited to dive into this folklore and possibly capture something paranormal on camera. But instead, he ended up dealing with something far more unsettling. Real people with possibly dangerous intentions. Whether they were up to something criminal or just trying to mess with him for fun will probably remain a mystery. But one thing was for sure, Mox wasn't done with this place. The curiosity still burned inside him. He knew he wanted to come back, but next time, he wouldn't be alone. Next time, he'd bring a group of friends. Not just for backup, but to make sure he could focus on what he came for in the first place. Exploring the unknown. Safely. This serves as a stark reminder to be aware of the dangers that may be lurking in the near and to be cautious when venturing alone into the darkness. And with that in mind, let's dive into the next clip. These are Tommy and Rachel, a couple who spent several adventurous years living on the road, traveling across the US with their dog by their side. Their YouTube channel, Oria Speedwagon RT, is where they documented all their travels and van life experiences. And while they're still active on the channel today, sharing bits of their new lifestyle, they've since stepped away from full-time van life, craving a new chapter. But this video takes us back to the heart of their road-tripping days, when they shared a unique, chilling experience that shook them both. It's April 15th, 2022. What started as just another van life day, driving all the way from West Texas back toward Oklahoma, took a strange turn. That day, they decided to stay at a familiar spot, a wildlife refuge where they had camped before without any problems. But shortly after arriving, something caught their attention. And it didn't sit right.
Rachel's getting a little bit freaked out.
I am. A little bit. But
Of what? That's Badger. And I don't know if it's something has stirred up because of the storm coming in or what. Hey! Are you okay? Do you want back in? Here, get in. Get in. Get in the van. I was gonna do a camping cook for y'all tonight. Gonna make this a... That is howling. What is that? I don't like it. No, no, no. I don't like that.
I don't know what that
Because that one's louder.
Yep. There it goes.
Nope. I don't know what that is.
What is that?
That is enough. That's enough to make me leave. That is enough to make me go somewhere else.
The howling sounds echoing through the area were unlike anything they'd heard before. So strange and unplaceable that they couldn't figure out what kind of animal was lurking around there in the wild. And the idea of whatever was making those noises coming any closer made them feel seriously uneasy. Still, despite feeling that urge to pack up and head somewhere safer, curiosity got the better of them. So, they stayed, quietly listening, hoping that if they paid close enough attention, they might be able to figure out what kind of creature was out there in the dark with them.
What?
There's something out there.
Yeah. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what's
What
going
you
on.
do?
I mean, you can hear it loud every now and then.
I think it's more than one.
Oh, there's more than one because there's something back over that way and then something, and it's, I don't know how far away they are. It is, I don't know what's making the sound, so I'll say they. Whatever's making the sound is coming from that way and that way.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Good God, you hear that one? Nope. Look.
There goes again.
No, this is, they're loud. They are loud. Ah, I hope this mic picks them up. Picks whatever the sound is. I hope it's being picked up by the mic. Don't know.
It came from over there.
Yep. I said there's one back that way and one back. There's one to the right front of the van making a sound. Something to the right front. I don't know. Even how. I don't know how far. Hey. You okay, buddy?
The strange, howling-like sounds continued for quite some time, leaving Tommy and Rachel second-guessing whether spending the night here was the right call. But in the end, they decided to stay, trusting that their camper van would offer enough protection from whatever was out there. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a heavy rainstorm rolled in, bringing thunder and lightning that drowned out any chance of hearing more of those eerie howls. In a way, the storm brought a strange sense of comfort, muting the unsettling noises. But it also left them a little disappointed, as their curiosity about what was making those sounds remained completely unanswered. The next morning, the rain had cleared, and the world felt peaceful again. Tommy and Rachel packed up their things, still unsure of what they had heard the evening before. As they drove away from the wildlife refuge, the strange howls still echoed in their minds, leaving them with more questions than answers. With the open road ahead, they pushed the thoughts aside, but the mystery of that night would linger in their minds, a reminder that sometimes the wild places they ventured into held secrets that no one could explain. Now, let's dive into the next clip, where once again, it's the unexplainable that turns someone's camping trip into a terrifying experience. This next disturbing clip was captured by a man who was on a walk through the snowy woods while staying in a holiday bungalow with his family, deep in nature. It was December 20th, 2017. Everything seemed perfect, and they were having a wonderful time together, enjoying their little Christmas getaway. Surrounded by the beautiful snowy scenery, a few of them decided to take a hike to explore the area and take in the stunning surroundings. But then, suddenly, a terrifyingly loud sound echoed through the woods, sending a chill down their spines. And without hesitation, the man began filming, knowing this was something he'd never heard before.
Fucking hell. Oh, okay. It's not an animal, is it?
This sound left them totally confused and terrified. It was almost like a whale trying to communicate underwater, but of course that was impossible. The eerie, otherworldly noise hung in the air, sending chills down their spines and making their surroundings feel more ominous with every passing second. Feeling increasingly unsafe, they quickly made their way back to their bungalow, hearts racing as the sound slowly faded away, swallowed by the vast, snowy wilderness. Back in the safety of their holiday home, they tried to shake off the dread, but the mystery of the sound remained unanswered. What had they heard out there? Was it a rare animal, or something far more inexplicable? The questions swirled in their minds, and despite their best efforts, the eerie memory of that sound would stay with them forever. This mystery is just one of many bizarre events caught on camera. Now, let's take a look at the next chilling camping encounter clip that left viewers equally baffled. This next clip comes from the Brazilian YouTube channel Caçadores das Sombras, where Luca and Yuri explore the mysteries that blur the line between the living and the dead. From unraveling chilling legends to spending nights in abandoned, haunted locations, no challenge is too extreme for them, and they share every eerie encounter with their growing number of viewers. In this particular video, Luca and Yuri, alongside a few friends for backup, embark on a daring adventure, camping in a forest that is said to be haunted by a werewolf-like creature, especially at night. The legends of this creature's eerie presence are enough to chill anyone's bones, but for these fearless explorers, it's the perfect opportunity to capture evidence of something truly terrifying on camera. It's October 14th, 2021. The group has set up camp, surrounded by the vast and eerie forest, fully armed and ready for whatever might come their way. And as the night deepens, they venture into the woods. But after wandering through the dense trees for a while, it seems like they have something in sight.
Olha lá, lá. Põe pra gravar, põe pra gravar.
Dá pra ver melhor aí? Tá gravando?
O que é? Vê o que é? É ele mesmo?
É ele, velho. É ele?
Deixa eu ver.
Ó ele aqui no meio da roda.
Olha o tamanho dele, velho.
Ó, tá acompanhando, não dá pra tirar, velho.
For a moment, they have the creature in their sight, its form visible between the trees. But then, in an instant, it disappeared, vanishing into the thick, dark woods, leaving nothing behind but the chilling silence and the eerie stillness of the night. Could it be that Luca, Yuri, and their team really managed to capture evidence of this local folklore creature, the werewolf-like beast that haunts the forest at night? Or was it simply an elaborate hoax designed to scare and entertain? You be the judge. Now brace yourself for the final clip, where yet another unsettling encounter leaves you questioning whether it was truly a horrifying experience or just an elaborate hoax designed to grab more views. Meet Yasko, the man behind the popular YouTube channel, Jasko. He's known for his chilling content, camping in haunted forests, exploring abandoned buildings with dark pasts, and doing whatever it takes to bring spine-tingling footage to his viewers. In this video, Yasko teams up with his good friend Chris for a daring overnight trip in a forest that's rumored to be the most haunted in all of New York, a place where multiple bodies have reportedly been found, and which has gained a reputation for being a hotspot of both paranormal activity and crime. But Yasko and Chris are determined to find out the truth for themselves, and hopefully capture something terrifying on camera. It's October 20th, 2024. The two friends arrive at the infamous forest just before the sun begins to set, giving them enough time to scout out the area and find the best place to park their camper for the night. Once they've settled on a spot, they head out for a short walk to get a better feel for the area before darkness fully takes over.
Now, it is very scary just thinking about the fact that I don't have the gun, Chris does, but that's why we're doing this while it's still kind of bright out. Okay, so this is like a direct entry to the water, I suppose. Yeah, cool. And that keeps going that way. All right, I'm assuming people have fished here. I see some, supplies and whatnot. Some very bad things have happened out here. There have even been claims of like a potential serial killer who used to bring his victims out here, and it's very scary to even think about. There's like one case that's still open. I think it's called like the smiley face killer. What is? It's strange. I mean, bro, I'm telling you.
Hearing distant sirens echoing through the forest, Chris and Yasko decide it's best to head back to their camper, just in case. With the woods getting darker by the minute, they shift their focus to making dinner, trying to shake off the eerie feeling that's been slowly creeping in. Despite the unsettling atmosphere, nothing concrete has happened yet. Nothing that would truly confirm the terrifying stories tied to these woods. It almost feels like just another cold, quiet night. As the evening continues, Chris and Yasko do a bit more exploring, hoping to find something unusual. But the forest remains quiet, and their search turns up nothing. So eventually, they give up and call it a night, settling into their camper to rest. But just when they assume the night will pass uneventfully, things take a frightening turn.
Extra fucking car, bro. Guys. Why is he stopping? Guys.
What's he doing?
Probably stopping.
Can you please grab the gun or something?
Yeah, hold on. Holy shit. He stopped right in front of us. He's literally here. Bro.
What's he doing? Still got him? Is he still on me?
Bro, what the fuck?
Where'd he go?
He's driving off right now, but whoa, what the hell was that?
I don't know.
What the hell was that about? I'm glad you saw that. Bro, the van's on.
Yeah, he just stopped.
For a moment, the two felt truly unsafe and confused. They were deep in the forest, far off the beaten path, and it was anything but normal for a car to be driving through here at night, let alone to stop right in front of their camper, as if scoping them out. And even though the car eventually drove off, that unsettling feeling stuck with them. The fact that someone now knew exactly where they were camping tonight was enough to make both Chris and Yasko rethink their plans. So after a brief moment of hesitation, they made the call to pack up and leave, deciding their safety wasn't worth the risk. Ironically, it wasn't the paranormal they had to fear that night. No ghostly sightings or haunted whispers through the trees. Instead, it was the unknown intentions of real people that made this adventure one of the most tense and unforgettable ones yet. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, subscribe to my channel and click to see more on the video on screen.